Aquariuses. Welcome to March 2017. You made it through February. Not a lot of people did. That was some craziness. I don't know how you guys felt with the eclipse that came crashing in, but it was pretty intense for me, definitely. Really quickly, just want to explain what was going on using astrology. So the full moon lunar eclipse was in Leo, and the lunar eclipse is a turbocharged full moon. So when you have a turbocharged full moon in a fire sign, especially in Leo fire sign, we had a crazy outpour of fiery emotions that were all impulsive, that were all a little extra dramatic, crazy. It was fun to say the least, to say the absolute least. Some people dealt with it in other ways, but for me, it was definitely intense. So then you have the new moon and the solar eclipse in Pisces, and the solar eclipse is a turbocharged new moon, and when you have that through the lens of Pisces, which is all about compassion, generosity, also victim mentality, adaptability, shape-shifting, the unseen world, the subconscious mind. So I think that's where the shift in the vortex, because you can tell that there's a shift. So as soon as the eclipse happened, I went to my meditation group the next week, and there were two new people that were like, I'm totally new to this, but I'm at wit's end, like I just need to change. And like, it's not that people are making a change on the physical realm. It's like people are making more of a spiritual change where they're like, okay, I can't be working through the ego anymore. I really need something more substantial. I need to know what's going on internally. And it's just like an awakening has completely covered the world, which is absolutely beautiful. Victor Odu, one of my favorite YouTube guys, is talking about how the earth really needs more spiritual teachers because people are awakening like this every single day. And a lot of times it's just like a small awakening. It's just a small, for instance, my mother-in-law, Taurus moon in Cancer, very closed off for so long, but now she's getting more into the essential oils. And you know, on weekends I help out selling Himalayan salt lamps, and this year alone has been crazy. I'm going to do a video on the benefits of Himalayan salt lamps because it has been crazy how many people just want to get back to basics. So that's exactly what this eclipse did. It got rid of all the drama of the ego. It released all that Leo drama, ego, superficiality, materialism, all that crap, and it really brought in this sense of spirituality that is really desperately needed in our world right now with what's going on. More compassion, less ego. So the eclipse would have been quite the game changer when it comes to emotions, when it comes to how we're feeling, like feeling very internally pulled. For me, I had such a low day because I spent the entire night reading documentaries on other parts of the world where people were suffering, and it, like, my heart literally bled. I woke up, my entire neck was like, I was in so much pain because I literally put the weight of the world on my shoulders, and finally I was able to, over the days past, I was able to release it because I couldn't save the world. I'm like, well, maybe I'll volunteer at this senior's home, or maybe I'll do this and I'll help this person, I'll heal that person, I'll do this for free. You know, things like that just made me realize that, you know, we can't all save the world, but we can all save our worlds. And if we save ourselves, that's how you can help others. So Aquarius, you guys are the most progressive people that I've ever met, and I know that you guys can do this. We need your technology, we need your analytical, logical mind to help other people, talk them through their spiritual awakening, okay? You guys can do this. And a lot of the times for Aquarius, like I said, my moon is in Aquarius. A lot of times for Aquarius, what they're here to do is just push people past the envelope of their current form of thinking, okay? And that's very easy for you guys. I love talking with my Aquariuses because they're so out of the box. They have these amazing, incredible ideas like we were talking about last month. You're incredibly intuitive, innovative, inventive, ingenious. You guys have so much creative, powerful energy, but it gets lost, it gets muddled in this egotistical and ego-driven world that we're in, because it's almost like if I can't make money off my ideas, I don't want to do it. And that's just the fallacy that we've been born and brainwashed to believe. If you have an idea, it doesn't matter if it makes you a cent or $1 million, you have to put it out there into the universe, because it's not always, success isn't always about the financial, tangible outcome of it. Success could be just changing that one kid's mind about something, and that kid grows up to be the leader of the free world that, inspires millions. So we're just urging for me, this year is all about urging all of the zodiac signs to just live up to their true soul's purpose, to their true potential. Numerology can help you figure that out. Astrology can help you figure that out. Spiritual teachers can help you figure that out. I can absolutely give you a hand in figuring it out. But this year is all about figuring out what your soul's purpose is. Okay, so I'm going to get started, give this one more shuffle. I'm going to do something differently where I lay all the cards out and then I'll talk about them instead of going card per card like I usually do. So please bear with me, because I'm enjoying this so far a little bit more. I've watched other tarot readers online and they kind of go completely different than what I do, and I'm just starting and I don't want to disappoint you guys. So, okay. So let's go. Okay, so a lot of similarities with the Sag and the Capricorn. So right now, this new level of thinking that I was just talking about, and that what's coming in with this eclipse is now people are starting to realize, like, oh my God, like my thoughts create my world. Like, and that might be, if you've never heard it before, like about the law of attraction, The Secret, which I'm sure you have. If you're here, you're obviously more spiritually inclined, and any spiritual being would realize their power. I don't care if you're Wiccan, I don't care if you're, just law of attraction enthusiast. I don't care who you are. At the end of the day, you know that if you look back at your life, a lot of the situations that happen were because of your thought process. For instance, this is a very, very small example, but I realized that I have a fear of getting pulled over. Whenever I'm driving, I always have this fear that a cop's gonna pull me over. Even if I'm going the speed limit and I'm sober and there's like my stickers aren't expired and I have insurance, even if I'm doing absolutely nothing wrong, I'm still afraid to be pulled over. And whenever I think about a cop pulling me over, I'll see a cop. Or he'll come behind me. I never get pulled over. But I realized it all stemmed back. I trailed it back to my first speeding ticket. My first speeding ticket was because I was rushing to go pick up my mom. And I'm like, I'm going to be late. Sure enough, I get pulled over and I'm like half an hour late to picking up my mom. So that was all because of my thought process. I thought I was late, so I got late, which created the fear of getting more speeding tickets in the future. So now whenever I'm in the car, I go a little bit more all out. I envision my grandmother who passed, my Grandma Betty. I picture her on the roof of my car with her big angel wings and a huge smile on her face. Whenever I drive a little bit fast, she's laughing on the car, and she gets me to where I'm going, always on time without any delays and very safely. And that's what I've been doing. It's been working very well for me. But sometimes I'll show up like an hour early and I don't even, and I'll just say thanks, Grandma, even though like that was a little extra. So this month we're really realizing that, our thoughts and our words are creating our world, and we're really urging you to look back. This is an obstacle and an aid. So the obstacle and an aid is to look back on your life and try and trail back and see, if you're in a situation you're not happy in, what are your thoughts regarding that situation? And if you're in a situation that you're very happy about, like if your work is suffering but your love life is awesome, look at the way that you view your love life and the way you view your work, and then maybe just try and make some changes, make some thought changes. Aquariuses are very logical. We are air signs. So for me, I'm, like I said, Moon Aquarius, and also a Libra Sun. So I'm a double airhead is what I like to call it. So yeah, it can be very hard to shut down your brain because it's just constantly going, constantly thinking. As long as you can acknowledge the thoughts that are coming in and monitoring them, you can start to control them. So if a thought comes in, like I said, for example, you're driving and you're like, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late. As soon as you recognize that thought, cancel, cancel, cancel. And literally just say in your head, cancel, cancel, cancel. I'm always on time without any delays. Just try it for the month. Just try it for March, because March is a very, very optimistic and creative and positive month already. And like spring is coming in, so the sun is shining a lot more. It'll be a lot easier to try and focus on more of the positive thoughts, okay? So that's the situation at hand. Subconsciously feeling like you can't make those that change in thought patterns because of the past, because of all these low vibe thoughts, greed, envy, jealousy. How can I be focused on my amazing life? Or how can I convince myself that I have an amazing life when it's actually very low vibe? And it will take some time, because Aquariuses are a fixed sign as well, so it can be hard to steer away from those thoughts and emotions that, we've found comfort in for so many years. But I'm urging you guys to just recognize that everything changes. So once you can change your thought process into something a little bit more positive, a little bit more optimistic and creative, then these will just naturally melt away because there won't be any space for it. So subconsciously, feeling very bound to these low vibe thoughts and emotions, but you can let them go as long as you bring them to the forefront, bring them to your conscious mind and clear them. I have some Aquariuses that are just delusional, and I don't mean that in any offense whatsoever, but we can convince ourselves of a situation and tell ourselves that we're progressive and we're open, but realistically we're very stubborn, we're very fixed, and when we get stuck onto one belief, it can be extremely difficult to break. But the first step in breaking that is just acknowledging that you have those rigid and very stubborn belief in your mind. And to change your beliefs into positivity is so empowering. It is so beautiful that it is worth the legwork, okay? So thinking that you want some new money coming in, thinking that, where is it? Thinking that you want to start manifesting newness, and, you've had your hand out a little bit too much. It's time to really start giving more, maybe taking a little bit too much, maybe expecting a little bit too much right now. It's time to start really giving. I was just reading last night, Wayne Dyer is absolutely incredible. Like he is such an inspiration, and he was talking about, it's the most basic thing. Giving doesn't exist without receiving, and vice versa. You've never seen a person with a front and no back, and you've never seen a person with a back and no front. Like, it just doesn't exist. So at the end of the day, if you want to receive more, and that's totally acceptable, you have to start giving more of your time, giving more of your energy, giving more of your money, giving out what you want to come back in. So for me, I want more inspiration in my life. I want more creativity. I want more fun. I want more play. So that's exactly what I've been giving out a lot more. If I see a kid, I'm giving them a laugh. I'm giving them a smile, just so that in some form it can come back in. See what I'm saying? Something that would have just passed, kind of at a standstill, but it's an honorable standstill. More of like, okay, I've come a long way, so now I've earned this rest. And it's an internal rest, and it's really more, the thing is, I'm feeling that you guys have been on the computer a little bit too much, watching too many screens, watching TV too much. Another thing I just read last night, Wayne Dyer was talking about, is that whole giving and receiving situation. So if you're watching things and media that is all about, violence, fear, hatred, sarcasm, diminishing others, things like that, that's exactly what you're going to get back in your life. For me, this is really good advice, because I did a Forensic Files binge watch last night and I couldn't sleep. I was absolutely terrified. And this morning I woke up and I'm locking all my doors. I'm like, well, I live in nature. Like, there's nothing coming through my door to harm me. Like, but because I watch so much Forensic Files and I'm looking at my husband, like, majority of those murders are husband and wife, like, and he's a Scorpio, so he's just looking back at me with his cunning eyes, and I'm like, ugh. but what we focus on expands. So try and monitor what you're watching. You can just shut it off. You know, if something, especially with the news, we get so bombarded with bad news from all over the world, and it's like, why? Why do we need to? Why? Why do we need to hear that? So we can go and talk to someone else about it, so that we're informed of the negativity in our world. Why? We don't need that. It doesn't make you feel good. So I'm urging you guys to have a little bit more control over what you're ingesting. And when I say ingesting, I mean the media for sure. Like, for me, I need to just laugh about it because, like, we are so bombarded with advertisements that say, you know, it's all ego-based, where it's you need to buy this to be cool, or you need to have this designer label, or blah, blah, blah. You need to be this person or that person. Do you? You know, we can laugh at these ads. If we're not allowing them to influence us, we can take a step back and say, that's hilarious. Really? For instance, I was watching this commercial about someone who needed a hand getting out of their car. Like, it's this new technology that this new innovative product that helps you get out of your car. And their pitch was that it's embarrassing to ask for help. And here I am, like, losing my shit. I'm like, oh my God, since when is it embarrassing to ask people for help? Like, no, like, I couldn't believe it. So I had to, like, take a step back, take a few deep breaths, and realize this is what other people believe, because they're being force fed this crap into believing that they need to buy this product in order to be independent, because if they're not independent, they're a strain on their family and friends. Get real. I'm sorry, but people love to help. People love to help. And if someone has the humbleness and the honesty to ask for help, nobody is going to judge you. Nobody's going to look at you and be like, you're pathetic. No, come on. So I'm urging you guys, be more cognizant of what you're ingesting, what you're putting on the screen. Future card looking really good. Definitely getting more empowerment for sure. Really starting to reap the fruits of your labor. It was a slow and steady incline, but finally it's feeling like you guys are getting that worm. So new money is absolutely coming in. It's looking really great for you guys. Right now, though, feeling a little bit heartbroken, feeling like it's hard to get that optimism back because of an authority that you have to have over someone, or that person has to have over you. So just recognize that right now your heart is not really doing too well, but that's because your family and friends aren't doing too well. Family and friends, pain in the back, you know, something new happened with family and friends, and they're just not at the best place. So the best way for you to help your family and friends is not by giving in to their complaints, but by trying to change their focus around. Like I was telling a lot of the other signs, you can't make anybody happy unless you yourself are. So if you're trying to make a family or friend happy and you're not happy, I'm sorry, but it's very hypocritical and it's very dishonest. Like it's not genuine. They can see that you're trying to help, but that's like literally giving someone an empty cup and saying, drink this water, and them being like, you don't have any water to give me, so why are you just giving me this empty cup? You know, it's not genuine. So until you guys can, and we all, and including myself, can change our thought process and get to a more positive place and get to our own happiness, that's when we can start to help our family and friends. So right now, just chill on it a bit. You know, some people are hurting around you, of course, so just recognize it. It can just be. Hope and fear, wanting some forward growth. This is almost like backwards growth. So, which reminds me, and this is backwards growth with a fire sign. So someone who is very focused on work, someone who's focused on action. That could be a one life path, or in numerology, sorry if you guys don't follow numerology, but a one life path, 8 life path, a Capricorn, could also be a fire sign, like I said, like either I want to say Virgo, but that's not a fire sign. Could also be a Leo as well. But almost like revisiting something in the past is kind of a hope and a fear, because this Knight of Wands is moving backwards. And that brings me to the topic of Venus going retrograde. Venus went retrograde today. So when Venus goes retrograde, a lot of the times we have issues from the past that come back up that would have been from the past 2 years from the last Venus retrograde. So relationships coming back up, relationship issues coming back up, things along that line. How you spent your money in the past on like social like pleasures, that could be coming back up for a revisit. So just recognize that. Don't fear it, even though it's in your fear sector. It's also something that you subconsciously hope for. You're hoping that something from the past gets brought back up so you can tackle that fear head on. So recognize that. Final outcome, gotta move away from something in order to get that monies, that, you know, that little bit of financial freedom here that, you know, we've all been struggling towards, especially the Aquariuses. Time to move on from something. Time to move away with absolute love and power. So this you want to do around the full moon. So the full moon, you definitely just keep an eye on the skies. So the full moon, you definitely want to start thinking about what you want to release. And then the new moon, you want to start thinking about what you want to bring back in. That's going to give you power. For me, you know, who knows what that could be? Like I said, I'm a moon in Aquarius, and a lot of times I do these readings and I'm like, how does this relate to me? And I can absolutely see it. So might be time to start considering moving on. This is an emotional move on, though. This isn't necessarily an action move on. This is maybe emotionally separating. Aquariuses can be extremely emotionally detached. So when they do finally emote and put their emotional investments into one situation, one person, one relationship, if they're hurt, it's just like that, like a switch, and they walk away. So I'm urging you guys to maybe find your power and realize where you have to just switch off and emotionally distance yourself, even if it's just for a little bit. Okay, so I think I've said enough. I hope you guys had an amazing February. I hope you guys have an amazing March. Keep spreading your love. Keep spreading your oh my God, I'm such an idiot. No, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna call myself something mean, but keep spreading your ingenious to others. Keep spreading your innovative ideas. It is what the world is asking and urging you to do. So please get yourself out there, because we're waiting for you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing March. Thank you so much for all your support and love. Sending love back to you. Bye, guys.